To help us with our design layout, I'm going to add in a style here. So this will just be a quick border style. So that we can actually see where all of our main content and our containers are sitting. So because I'm going to be working on this one, I'm going to add it in there. I can add it in there. I can add it in there, and so on. So this breaks up our content and allows us to see it quite a bit better. And I'm also going to add it in to each one of these IDs here that we're going to be working with. So it's a one-pick border that we've added in, and this gives us a better idea of how that content is being displayed and output. So we want to, ideally, we want to break this apart into two columns. So we're going to just do it within a standard way where we're going to select. So we're going to make a selection. So we're going to do header using that header ID and select logo within it. Or we could just simply select logo as well. So maybe we'll just keep it at that. So because we've used IDs there, so we do have the ability to do nav bar. And we could have just as easily done this as header, the parent, and then the div and the nav as well. So either way, we could do the same thing and accomplish the same result here. So let's float this one over to the left, and I'm going to give it a width. So the logo, looking at roughly the widths that we need for it, so maybe we can do something like a 40% width, and then this one will float over. We can float it to the right, or we could float it to the left. So it doesn't really matter because we're going to be taking up that full available 100%. So we're just going to keep it at floated to the left, and so there we go. So now we've got our navigation bar here when we refresh it. So we've got our navigation bars ready to go. We've got our company logo, so each taking up their correct percentage, and then when we really shrink it down like this, we're going to collapse the menu in and make a drop down menu. So let's go back into logo here, and we're going to update some of the text there that's available. So we want to make maybe the text align, and we pull this text over to the left hand side. And maybe also remove out, or we can add in a margin if we want. So if we don't want it sitting directly over to the left hand side, we can add in a little bit of a margin there of 10 pixels, but then we'd have to adjust the width. So let's, for now, we're going to keep the margin at 0 just to ensure that we're floating it properly. So margin 0, and with 0 we don't need to specify pixels. We can just do it that way. We can also update our font color, so let's update that as well. So color, and we're just going to do black. Or maybe you can add in a little bit of color. I know I said I was going to do a grayscale, but let's add in a little bit of color there as well. And we can also adjust font size and font family, of course. So maybe let's make it so 1.5 EM. So it makes it a little bit better, a little bit bigger there to stand out. So there we've got our company name. And we can also add in another line there if we want to make it small. So if we wanted to do it this way, maybe we could have a whole other container there over to the left and add in a small slogan or something like that underneath. So this is something that we can add in as well. So let's just add that in there. So I'm going to create another div here. And I'm just thinking probably the best way to do would be like this, and we could just do small. So this could be for a company slogan, making it smaller, and then we need to make some adjustments there. So let's pull that one out and do logo with child of div is going to be this. And we can do logo with a child of small, and here we can adjust the color. So maybe we want to stick with something that's off red, coral color, and here we can adjust the font size as well, so 0.8. And one other thing that I'm going to add in here as well, so text transform. And what text transform does is, if we want to make it all uppercase, it'll transform all our text to uppercase. So maybe that's a good way to go about presenting our company name, so it's always uppercase. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at updating this nav bar and transform this unordered list into a navigation bar. So that's coming up in the next lesson.